What's going on, everybody? Brett here, and you're joining me today for some Legion TD2. Alright, so you may be asking yourself, what the heck is this? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, Legion TD is a game that was originally made for multiplayer in Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 had one of probably the most prolific and excellent modding communities, maybe for any game ever. And a lot of really creative stuff came out of that. I've been playing AutoAttack on the channel. AutoAttack being a card game derived from Dota. Dota being a game that was, created in Warcraft 3's, map editors. So Legion TD is one of those types of games. It's a tower defense game. You've seen me play like Kingdom Rush, my Kingdom Rush series. I'm nearing the end of my second series on that right now. And my buddy ProLane, who you've seen me play Artifact with, mentioned this game to me, and we've been playing it like non-stop. So I thought, you know what, if I'm playing this on my free time, I may as well record it. Maybe some of you out there are interested in it, and I hope that's the case. I don't know, there are probably some big YouTubers out there making videos on this, probably some of them better than me at the game, but I played the original Legion TD to death. Absolutely to death. I was very good at it. I understood the game completely. This one I've been struggling a little bit because I do need to learn some of the timing, some of the build orders. It's not really my favorite thing to min-max. Min-maxing is not how I get down, guys. It's not how I enjoy games. I like to try and do something fun and different every time I play. And you'll notice that if you check out some of my other playthroughs, because I don't always do the easy thing. Sometimes I can win, and I'm just like, nah, that's too easy. Let's do it a different way. But I thought today we could go through perhaps the tutorial. So before we do that, let me make sure my sound is good. I feel like it's a bit low. We can raise that up a little bit so you guys can maybe enjoy some of the music, some of the different sounds. That should be better. I can kind of hear it now myself. So I thought we'd go through the tutorial because I think it's honestly, I've done it already. You do it, you get points, experience. Let's go ahead and just jump in. So defend your lane, right? It's going to teach you the premise of the game. Probably better than I could if I was just talking, and it's going to show you the different mechanics. So let's just jump in. We may just go ahead and do every single tutorial mission one more time for me, and it's going to be up against the bot. They give you a very specific set things that you need to do, and it's really just to guide you through the process of learning the game. Now, I jumped into it. I didn't know all the different commands and controls. Some things are new, right? But I played so much of the original that, honestly, I felt right at home. So, here you go. Protect your king. Pretty simple concept. Don't let people get to him. Enemies attack from the cave. So, in typical tower defense fashion, the enemies come from a certain direction, and you have to defend. So, unlike most typical tower defense games, our enemies follow, yes, they follow a lane, but there's only one lane. And instead of mazing or building towers on the sides to shoot at them as they walk by, we actually build units that will stand and fight. Okay, we've spent all of our gold, and we're done. So we built ourselves a Mudman. We can look at his stats. He costs 140 gold, and he takes up 1 supply. He also has some abilities. He can temporarily increase his defense. You'll see there is his HP, 1730, his DPS, 42, his type of damage, and his type of armor. So he does impact damage, and he has fortified armor. I know this is kind of a lot of information, but of course, it'll make a lot more sense as we get further into the game. And his ability down there is Harden, which you can read, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So you have an unlimited time in this tutorial. Normally you have to make your decisions before time runs out. So here we go. The wave's coming. It shows here the wave is just a bunch of crabs. And he automatically defends the lane. We don't have to do anything. He'll fight and he'll kill all the crabs. So he's a bit of a tanky character. They describe him as a melee tank that can temporarily increase his defense. And we can take a look here at the stats of the crabs. 6 damage, very low. Fortified armor, which takes 115 extra percent damage from impact, which is what the Mudman is. So he does bonus damage versus them. And they have 120 HP. Alright. So we earned gold. We earned 72 gold. Defeating enemies. Use it to deploy an Aqua Spirit. So we're just going to put them where it told us. These are more of ranged characters. Medium ranged fighter with bouncing attack, 400 HP, 22 DPS. They do piercing damage and have arcane armor. And they have a water bounce, so they splash attack. So we have a little bit more gold, and we can place now a proton. We spent all of our gold, or as much as we could spend, and now we proceed. And if you look down here, you can see their abilities in the corner down here. Generator being one of the abilities of the proton. I'm still learning some of this myself, though I will admit I have played quite a few games. And don't pay too much attention to what's going on over here right now. It's pretty complicated, and we'll go into that soon. It has to do with some of the resources at the bottom here, and one of the key elements of the game, which is the purchasing of mercenaries and sending them into other lanes, and the kind of the balance that forces you to make in this game. So it's telling us we can upgrade. All of these units have upgrades. I don't think there's a single unit in the game that can't upgrade. And it wants us to upgrade them to an atom. So you'll see here the stat difference. And let's click on them and get that going. All very basic stuff. We can actually zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a way that's not like really crappy. It's not. It's got us really centered, so we can't like move around. There we go. Watch the Mudman fight. All these little Murloc looking guys. What are they calling them? Hoppers? Yeah, those are Murlocs. I don't care what you say. There we go. Alright. Mission complete. So that's probably the most basic, obviously the first level in the tutorial. So now we can go into hiring mercenaries. Hire mercenaries to attack your opponent. And these are different races, so I didn't really go over that. The tutorial is forcing us to choose the different races, kind of familiarizing us with them. We used Element just then. And now we're going to grab the Grove. Each team defends its own king. So it's teams of 2, guys, at the moment. They may change that in the future, but for the moment it is teams of 2. And we each have our own king to defend. Very similar to something like Dota. You know, defend your core, League of Legends, something like that, any kind of MOBA. So we're up against a bot now. So it wants us to start with building our tank, and it's a guy named an Antler. Very heavy tank. They're 200 gold, and we're broke. So it's telling us we can choose from mercenaries to deploy. So the mercenaries we deploy, we pay for them with a resource called Mythium, used for hiring mercenaries. And these little dudes down here are the ones that farm it. So when we open up our mercenary tab, which I pretty much just keep open for the entire game, we can choose which mercenaries we'd like to hire. Right now, all we can afford is a snail, and then it appears up here. So we're broke on Mythium. Our snail pops up here, and it waits until the round starts, until he goes into the lane. He mixes in with the wave that's coming, and he'll join them on the other side of the battlefield to help fight our opponent's group. There we go. So the opponent is going to try to stop them now. We can sit here and watch. Our snail was defeated, but he did absorb some damage. But the main thing that mercenaries do is they add to your income. Okay, so income is something that increases. You'll see here when we bought the snail, it says +6 to income. And that, of course, increases as you buy more and more expensive mercenaries. We can hit this button to go back. Okay. Mythium, the blue crystal used to hire mercenaries, is passively earned over time. And it's passively earned by these guys. They're kind of just giving it to us right now. Your workers harvest Mythium over time. And to buy workers, we need 50 gold. So we can do it right now. Train a worker. And now we have even more workers. So if you look down in this corner here, it tells us we have 3. And and that also takes up 1 supply. So you see here we're balancing all of these different resources, and with our remaining gold we're going to deploy a little buzz bee. Now it says wait until you have 40 mythium, then you can hire a dragon turtle. So sometimes it pays to wait. If you drop a bunch of snails on your opponent, yes, your income is going to go up very quickly, but your opponent is probably going to very easily defeat the snail, and you're going to be feeding them gold for that kill. So you want to strategically wait until the correct wave with the correct mercenary to send them. And there's a lot of strategy that goes on with that. It's something that I'm still working on mastering myself. In the original, Legion TD, I had it down, but in this one I'm still trying to find my way. And if we want to go to the other side, we just click on this little like tombstone rune looking thing, and it sends us to the other side of the battlefield, and we'll see that they're getting overwhelmed. The dragon turtle probably absorbed a lot of the damage, and the chances are that they will leak here. And you'll see there it says they leak to the king, and leak is just kind of a terminology that's used around tower defense games if you're not aware. So now they're running past. If he had a teammate that managed to clear his round, his units would be waiting here to help, and they would have a chance to fight before these units actually got to the king. So you'll see there the king took damage, and since the goal of the game is to kill the opponent's king, that's pretty sweet. And every time those units hit, they gave us some gold as well. That's another little smaller nuanced part of the game. Okay. Gain income, get rich. Let's start it. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Ugh. Alright, Grove once again.
Welcome to Nova.
This mission introduces the fog of war. So during the night, you can't see your opponent's lane. So you can't tell what they're building. You have to guess. And during the day, when the wave attacks, the fog is lifted. So now let's learn about income. Most gold is gained by killing enemies. However, after each wave you also receive bonus gold equal to your income. And that's this area down here. You start with 0 income. Every time you hire a mercenary, your income goes up permanently. So pro tip, spend your mythium as fast as possible so you boost income as fast as possible. Okay. Deploy fighters and train 1 to 2 workers. Training workers is very important. More workers equals more mythium equals more mercenaries equals more income, and more income equals more gold. So fair point. And we'll just drop down one of those guys and we'll train ourselves a worker. Alright, I'm ready. So now we have 3 workers. They're going to come down here and mine the mythium, and we can watch them go back and forth. We can also send a snail if we like. We need to achieve an income of at least 18 by the end of wave 3. Okay, no big deal. So we could probably just send snails and beat this. We don't necessarily have to hold for a dragon turtle or anything like that. We just want to ramp to as much gold as possible. And because honestly I think we're fine, well, let's get 1 more worker and we could train up a little bee. They poison enemies. So if anyone kills them, they get hit with anaphylaxis, which is hilarious. And in just a moment we'll have enough to send another snail. We just need to get our income up. Sending 1 more snail does that. And the little bee, though not doing very much, is tanking for Antler and giving him a chance to fight. And now we can buy another worker, which should speed up the process of us getting more and more mythium. Look at these little dudes. Whales. Alright. And let's get another snail. So we achieved that. And let's just go ahead and build ourselves a ranger. They do piercing damage, and impact damage. It's important as we learn more about the game together that you take note of the different types of damages that the different towers do. And they sent us a snail. You'll see there how it absorbed a ton of damage. Essentially like our opening volley. Even sometimes just a single snail can turn the difference in a combat scenario. Hopefully we don't leak. We'll just send snails. And I honestly don't think we need to build any more workers to beat this part of the tutorial. We just need to focus on not leaking. And yeah, next wave we should be fine. Want to upgrade to the consort? Sure. Let's see what the consort looks like. Kind of a cool looking model. Game is very similar to how it was back in the Warcraft 3 days. Even so much as it's kind of like they took some of the models and just kind of reworked them a little bit so they weren't like copywriting, you know. Alright, just watching them tick down. We can just build different stuff just to see. So we earned 30 gold. Our income is now up to 36. And let's build a Daphne.
Hello. Hello.
And we can get another worker. Doesn't really matter. We just need to win the next wave. And then we're good to go. Next enemy is the Scorpions. So this is a bit of like a boss battle. Every 5 waves I should say, is a boss. It says one mini boss. And we killed the big scorpion. And you'll see they're getting progressively tougher. Oh, the consort goes down.
Hello.
Daphne has quite nice range.
Yes.
And decent damage. So that should be it. Yes.
Victory.
Alright guys, we did it. And supportive auras, the hexagon. So this is important as well. In the original, you kind of had to guess. If you had a creature that had an aura that gave a type of effect to the nearby, units around it, you kind of had to guess where the aura was beginning and ending. And that could be pretty annoying sometimes. Mission starts on wave 8. Some fighters have aura abilities. Auras provide bonuses to fighters that are deployed directly adjacent to the fighter with the aura. Auras with the same name stack only once, and that's important. So the Butcher has the Leech aura. Okay, deploy a Gargoyle. Now we look on him and we can see his buffs. Leech. Return to the fighter menu. We will deploy another Gargoyle. And another one. And another one. Alright, you get the idea. But now that he's completely surrounded, all of these units have the buffs. And we're going to take our remaining gold and get some green devils. Alright, let's go. The wave spawning are the Cobras. They all possess the life leeching buff. In addition to their other abilities, which are Stone Skin, which is that they take 50% reduced damage. And the Butcher himself, which is... can we click on him? Yeah, he's down here. He does impact damage. He has 1000 HP. And we want him to survive. Wow. Could the RNG have like messed us up any worse? I don't even know if it's possible to not clear this wave. We're not going to clear the wave in the tutorial. That's unbelievable. I wonder if it does anything. Do we just like lose the tutorial? I'm actually interested. I don't know how it could have given us like an insufficient build. I could have upgraded the ones out to the side so that they weren't the target of the immediate fighting, but they're also tankier. So whatever. The king kills them. The king has a series of attacks that he does. That's hilarious, though. Wow, is the king gonna die to these? What the heck? That's hilarious. Okay, guys. And what is this? That's so weird. Okay. That probably was not meant to do that. We're not gonna do that again. Basically, that was all there was. If we'd have just cleared the wave, we'd have been fine. The idea was probably to upgrade maybe the ones in the back and let the little dinky ones die. And then you're pretty much good after that. Okay, the idea is just to teach you that it has like a finite range. And it's not a perfect box. You have to really plan out how they, how that box is going to fit and which units you need to stand next to that unit in order to get that benefit. So we're going on to the next one, which talks more about the attack types and the armor. Alright. Every unit has an attack type and a defense type. Each type has strengths and weaknesses. For example, Pierce deals 120% damage versus Swift defense. And we just need to click on this and we get ourselves some charts, which we can conveniently, move around. And one will tell us what the upcoming waves are, what's our recommended value, which is shown down here, before the wave comes, and then a nice little nifty chart to show us, what the damage values are. So the attacking wave has swift defense. Use Pierce fighters to deal extra damage. Okay. So we want pierce damage and fortified guys. So we have a ton of gold. So our disciples do pierce damage, and our mudmen have fortified armor. And let's see what we can build. They give us a lot of gold. Once again, not sure if there's a way that we can mess this up, but let's not tempt fates. And that's probably fine. We'll throw a little wispy boy down here. Alright. See what they can do. We can check their attack stats and their defense stats. Kind of what we've been doing since the beginning. I've kind of been offhandedly showing that. The disciples here are casting a mana burst bolt. Every time their mana goes to full, they throw a 300 pure damage attack out. We better not leak again. That would feel so bad. And we are. We don't need to try again. I think that's fine. Let's see if there's a better way to do this. Maybe honestly, we could have just bought more powerful fighters. Let's see, we might as well while we're experimenting. See how that works. The fire elementals are pretty good value. They do piercing attack, and and the golems have fortified armor. So they're going to be pretty resistant to their attacking. And the fire elemental's attacks chain from target to target. But they're just getting melted. Yeah, that's weird. The first time I did this, I obviously didn't have any trouble like beating it. Let's see. Can mess around. What's the cost to upgrade one of those? 70? See how that works. We got ourselves a Star Caller, which does tons of piercing damage. And Fire Lords, which do magic damage. Which is just standard 100% effective against these types of units. So we're probably going to leak again. We'll just skip this. Kind of hilarious. Okay, next tutorial. And let's go into the save Mythium for an all-out defense. Or all-out offense, of course. We'll choose Element.
Welcome to Nova.
In this mission, we will learn about saving Mythium. Saving Mythium can be a good strategy, especially later in the game. You miss out on some income gold, but you will be able to afford stronger mercenaries to make your opponents leak. And this is where a lot of the strategy in the game comes in. So let's give saving Mythium a try. Deploy fighters each night as usual. Don't hire any mercenaries until after Wave 15 spawns. After Wave 15 spawns, spend all your Mythium on mercenaries. Hopefully, your opponent will be overwhelmed. So we'll get ourselves 2 workers here. The game gave us a Star Caller, so we'll build... Let's see here, is he under the benefit of Amplify Magic? He is. Alright, so the game kind of gave us a nice little template. You want to build your units around the Star Callers because they regen magic, and all of these units get some sort of benefit from being around magic. So the wave is counting down, and we're not doing anything until after Wave 15. And then we're going to hire a Ghost Knight. But until then, we're just going to be constantly, you know, upgrading our guys in the lane. Hopefully we don't just straight fail. Unbelievable. These little killer slugs are very resistant to magic, and that's kind of a lot of the types of damage that we do. But the next wave are the octopus bosses, and they are also very resistant. Because Arcane is good versus this wave, is it? And we have enough to upgrade another one of these to an atom. Alright, so right after this wave spawns, we'll be able to do our objective. I like to have this one up pretty much at all times. And now we can hire the Ghost Knight. So there we go. And we can go over here and see how the enemy is doing. And they're doing just fine. They have a lot of big stuff. Does good like siege damage or impact damage. Alright. And let's hire a mole, which will increase the damage, or increase the armor rather. And we have 23 seconds to do something. Sure, we're spending our gold wisely. And we'll get a hermit as well, which also heals. So we're sending some good strong auras and a snail. And we can, now that it's daytime, we can go ahead and look at the enemy and see if we're going to be able to mess them up. The knight took a lot of the damage, and our healer is doing work. Our little mole is raising the defense. And we should be able to defeat them here. Yeah, they're all going down. And we should be fine. Hire some dragon turtles off to the side. And they leaked pretty badly. And now they're going to go into the king and take it down. Alright. The king doesn't normally die that easy. The game is being changed just a little bit for the sake of the tutorial. Alright. And last but not least is defeat an AI opponent. Which I didn't have any trouble doing like 2 days ago. So let's see if I can't try not to fail on camera. And so once you hit level 3, you unlock a race, and this is the more interesting of the ones, and this is how I've been playing. This is a nice mix. So we get to choose, we get randomized fighters. Try to make one worker every wave. And we can do that. And we'll start with the good old building of the antler right off the bat. We can go into here and hire a snail just to raise our income. Our income is now 10. At the end of the round, we'll get 10 gold added extra. And for our randomized towers or units, I got the gargoyle, the aqua spirit, the tempest, the priestess of the abyss, the antler, and the banana bunk. So it's a cool mix. The mastermind, quote unquote race is a randomized mix of all the different towers in the game, and you kind of just like roll the dice trying to get them. Used to be my favorite mode to play in the original Legion, but now it's still very fun. You just want to make sure you have a good mix of different damage types. So we have a very decent mix here: pierce, magic, impact. And the antlers should have no problem dealing. We can open this up. I'd like to move this down here maybe. And we can see here the amount of value it's recommended that we have for each wave. So for this one it was 150. The antler is worth 200. We can hire another worker there. So, and for the second wave, it's also recommended that we have 220. So we're pretty much there with just a single antler. I can't imagine the AI is going to try and like rock us with anything bigger than a snail here. And I'm going to try and remember to go over to their lane to see what they're building. We just sent another snail. I don't know if we need to be any more crafty than sending snails, but we may try and save up and get some of the more sneaky units that have auras or different type of effects that the AI will probably have trouble dealing with. So the AI did fine. I think we can hold off on buying workers for this turn. Let's try a Tempest. Place like a Tempest and a Gargoyle here. Let's check out what the Tempest does. Short range fighter that deals bonus anti-ground damage. So shoots a nearby ground enemy for 12 pierce damage every 0.5 seconds. And that looks like that's in addition to its already kind of average speed attack. You can kind of see the little area of effect going off. And the AI is being overwhelmed kind of already, which is interesting. Let's hire a worker. We're up to 5, so we'll be getting Mythium pretty steadily now. Get ourselves a little Aqua Spirit. So we have 17, 16 seconds to save, maybe to get up to 40, but it goes in increments of like 20. So the odds of us getting up to 40 is pretty much nil. So let's just send the snail, get our income up to 28. And income is given at the end of the round. So there's a bit of a nuance as to when you want to purchase your mercenaries. And that's something you learn the more you play. You have to ask yourself if you're valuing the increased income for the beginning of your next turn over, potentially dropping a mercenary at a time that may more harm your opponent. Okay, and the AI managed to clear. Any upgrades that we can get? Sure, let's get ourselves a fire elemental. And we've nearly got 40. We could send something a little stronger. There we go. So we're going to send a lizard. He's a ranged guy. He gives us plus 12 income, double the snail, right? He costs twice as much. He gives double the income. And they sent a horned turtle. Let's go see how the AI is handling this. And I like sending the ranged character because they're holding off with some melee guys. And sending the ranged one, he's not going to get into that aura that's killing all the rest of them. Alright, and we managed to hold. Seems good. And we can build another worker. And yeah, this little lizard probably did a ton of damage. Just ticking away in that small amount over the course of the entire fight. $120. That's enough to get ourselves a green devil. And he has the ability called Lacerate. So each attack amplifies damage taken by 1.5, one against bosses stacking up to 9 times. Very good. As well as his stone skin, which he has when he's just the base gargoyle. He does magic damage. Antlers are taking most of the effect. These Rockos have a type of attack called Impale. You can read there what it does. But we're doing just fine. Let's get another worker. And we'll drop the snail just to make sure we get that extra 6 before the end of the round. They're actually struggling to deal with these. And we could probably easily win, honestly. It's just by saving up and sending at the right time. Next coming up are the sludges. Would love to upgrade this Tempest to a Leviathan. And we're doing what the tutorial suggested. We're keeping our worker count high. We're trying to get a worker every single level, if at all possible. And I think for the most part, that's probably a pretty good strategy. We're going to have 190 gold here. Oh, they leaked. Okay. That probably won't kill the king. I don't know what kind of like values they have on the king right now in the tutorial. He doesn't have a lot of HP at all. And I'm getting gold every time they hit him. Alright, so it's not game yet. We can get ourselves one of these priestesses. Like that. And they do magic damage, but they have a special ability called Burst Attack. Each attack launches 2 extra missiles, each dealing 100% base damage. So, I mean, she basically does 3 times this amount of damage. Against the targets that she's good against, like natural or fortified, it's very good because she's getting 3 times the bonus damage. But she's also much less effective versus the ones that she is least effective against. So that's some of the pros and cons. Go ahead and get another worker. So we're keeping up with the Joneses. And they're going to hold here. So we have the boss wave coming up pretty soon. And we have a ton of gold to work with. So what do we want to get? What can we upgrade? Let's get ourselves a Leviathan. That seems pretty cool. And let's just get another worker. Could have done the math and probably had the worker like 20 seconds ago. Something, that little bit of min-maxing all really matters in this game. We'll send 2 dragon turtles. The right thing to do, honestly, if I was playing competitively right now, not just trying to show you guys the tutorial, I would probably have saved and then waited on the boss level to then send something with an aura or something very, very tanky. And that probably would have done the AI in quite easily. And see here, our recommended value is currently just about matching, you know, what each wave kind of dictates that you need. So we're not building too aggressively into our economy. We're going to value giving ourselves 12 more income soon. Over trying to like bully the AI. And also we're nearly supply capped. Which is something you have to pay to increase. So, something to keep in mind. We're sitting at 300 gold. Which is quite a lot. And we can drop a banana bunk. Which is like probably like a tier 4 unit, I guess you could call it. Tanky short-range fighter. Whenever this unit is attacked, it reflects 25 plus 15% damage taken back as pierce damage. So they're giant like tanky walls, and when you upgrade them completely, they're like really, really tanky walls. So here's the boss. The AI did not see fit to send anything our way. Hope we can beat him. And we did it. Awesome. Let's see what the AI is working with. The AI beat him as well. Wow. So now we get a chance to choose one of these types of effects here. Yeah, we need to upgrade our supply, so we need to save Mythium to do that. Damages your king by 15%. Your workers gather Mythium faster or summon lizards to attack. I kind of like that one. But I'd also love to get more gold. Let's just do the lizard army because it's kind of fun. And we could save up for a big attack in a few turns. And right now, though, we need to save our Mythium and increase our supply cap. It's only 50. See how the AI is doing. They look like they're doing all right. And we've nearly got our upgraded supply. There we go. So it doubles, goes up to 40. Now we can cram a few more workers in there. All right. Upgrade those guys, and let's grab another worker. Why not? Deploy some extra lizards, and then next turn, I think, or next wave, there should be 3 of these when we start. If I remember how that works. 1 on wave 11, 2 on wave 12, and 3 on wave 13. Yeah. And our worker count is pretty decent right now. By wave 12 to have 13 workers is pretty okay. I'm mostly concerned about us leaking. I didn't really go for any kind of like optimal build. Do we have enough? I was hoping to get our Banana Haven, which is the upgraded form of that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So let's go ahead and just get ourselves a white mane. Nice. And we can drop a lot more of the lizards for the next battle. So what the white mane does is he has a protective aura. And you'll see here it's called Council. So it's affecting some of our units. They take bonus damage from impact, and that's what the white mane does. So he's going to be very good at killing these guys. Just need him to hold on. Come on, buddies, let's win. And that's a lot of little lizards. Helping to overwhelm. I don't think we're going to leak here. The priestess is kind of deceptively strong. And they're going to leak just a bit. And let's see if that finally finishes off. Nearly. It's giving us a ton of gold. That felt pretty good. And now we can come in here and get ourselves our strongest unit, the Banana Haven. Huge HP pool. And it has double the kind of Thorns aura that it had before. Let's build another one of those. We'll drop a healer. And they dropped one for us as well. Counting on the Banana Haven to do a lot of work for us. Give ourselves another worker so we can try and keep up with the wave. Let's check out the AI, how they're doing. And they're like spamming out these Daphnes. Oh man, and we might leak as well. Yeah, the healer did a good job at messing with us. But our king is in very good shape and theirs is not. Let's see how their king is able to deal with this. %, 12%, 10%, almost. Okay. Get ourselves another white mane. That'll give our Banana Haven a nice defensive aura. Let's get another one of those. Can we drop another healer on this boss wave? That would feel pretty strong. Honestly, I expect another hermit on this wave as well. We could have, like I said, we could have just been saving up this whole time. But honestly, the last time I did this, I ran over the AI by like wave 6. So I should not have expected to do that 2 times in a row. And maybe I should have added a bit more strategery to my mercenary drops. But the whole point of this is to give you guys the gist of the game. And I think I'm doing that. Alright, can we deal with the boss? At least we're getting some splash damage on the healer. Alright, so we may leak a little bit with the boss, which is unfortunate, but let's see how the AI did. Yeah, the AI leaked pretty badly. I think our hermit was probably the main contributing factor there. And we're leaking like half a boss, which you don't want to do. And there we go. Okay, so it's over, guys.
Victory.
I hope you enjoyed that. Kind of checking out the game and how it works. I'd like to play some of the normal modes against players pretty soon. And if you enjoy this on the channel, let me know. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And just let me know generally in the comments what you think about the game. That was obviously the tutorial. Playing against players, I'll play completely differently. Probably end up playing with my buddy ProLane and messing some people up. But yeah guys, if you liked it, just let me know. I want to know if it's something that no one's gonna watch, if it's something that someone's gonna watch. I tend to keep series going if someone out there is watching it. Even if it's just one person, I try and give them a few extra videos to enjoy. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Once again, my name is Brett, channel's Good Talk Gaming. Take care.